How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Battlefield 4 on the PC, and it's the beta, and today I'm just going to be giving you guys my first impressions of the beta so far since I've been playing it over the last couple of days. So let's get into it. So I have been having some fun with the game, although there have been some issues, and that's obviously what a beta is there for. And some of these issues were, there was a frame rate problem I was having with the Nvidia card, and even though I updated it didn't seem to want to work until I updated to the beta drivers. So if you are having frame rate problems in the beta, obviously if you're on the PC version, if you're on console you can't upgrade, that kind of stuff. But yeah, just go and do the update, and that'll hopefully fix the problems you're having if you update to the beta version or whatnot. But some people have been complaining about Battlefield 4 beta, like why they've been playing it, or some people have just said it's too much like Battlefield 3. And I mean, it does feel like Battlefield 3, but there are different ways to do things in it. And it's kind of like, as a developer, you sort of have a problem when you do make a sequel. Do you make it too similar to the original, or do you make it different enough that people are going to hate it because it's different? I mean, some people obviously get annoyed at Call of Duty is exactly the same. I don't think Battlefield 4 is exactly the same as Battlefield 3 as like a new Call of Duty is, because they feel exactly the same. So there is new stuff in this game. Don't think it's just exactly the same as Battlefield 3, even though obviously it is a sequel, so things will be the same. But I mean, if they go like a completely different direction and just decided to make things different, like for example Gears of War Judgment, people whinged about that game. They said it wasn't like Gears enough, but if it was exactly the same, people would say it's just a cash grab because they're making the same thing. So as a developer, you don't really know what to do, and as obviously as a publisher, when they want to push out new Battlefield games, they don't want to change it because people want to play that game, and if they do change it, they see stuff like what happened with Gears of War Judgment and say, holy crap, let's not change anything, otherwise people are going to get up us. So it's kind of they don't really have a choice. Whichever way they go, people are going to be mad at them. Now, something that we're talking about a lot of when it comes to Battlefield 4 was this new concept of levolution, so being able to destroy this massive building, as well as, you know, level all these other places and destroy walls, which I really liked because I was personally a bigger fan of the Bad Company series than of Battlefield, because you could blow up everything. Every single building on the map could pretty much be destroyed in those games, and it was really fun. However, when it came to Battlefield 3, I was kind of let down because destruction just didn't feel that good. Like, you could barely blow up any buildings at all, whereas back in Bad Company 2, you could completely demolish buildings and people could get crushed inside, and it was really cool to do something like that. And it made it seem more realistic because obviously you can blow up a building if you try really hard. But yeah, in Battlefield 3, you couldn't even really do that, so that kind of annoyed me. However, playing the beta, although there is only one map and a couple of different game modes, it seems that some of these are scripted, but there's enough of them that I don't sort of get bored of them or think, oh, here comes another scripted event. So obviously the massive building falling that everyone saw from that map is scripted. I don't think you can blow up any other buildings on that map as I've seen through playing so far, but there are other cool things. For example, the smaller version of the map, which I've been having a lot of fun with without playing with vehicles, so it's just people with guns running around. You can blow up this certain catwalk which falls down, and there you can walk up there and you can get to a higher access point, which I think is really cool, and it sort of shows the demolition of how it would look as it falls down, and it's pretty cool. Even though it is scripted, as I said before, there's enough of them that make it cool, and there's also little interactions on the map that I do like. For example, you can walk into a container and you can close both the doors on either end, which I think is really cool to have like a little thing like that in your map, as well as like you can go inside this area and press a button and it shuts down these bars so people can't get in until they go in and press that button again. So little things like that make me like this game more, since it feels more like you're actually interacting with a place as opposed to just an area that you can't really touch anything. They also have elevators on these maps that you can go up to get to higher points, which I find kind of cool, that, you know, you can also still interact with stuff, which I do like, as opposed to, you know, in previous Battlefields where it was just you're here, you walk around, that's it. So having these interactions I think work really well, and I do like to see stuff like this. This is something I want to see in more games as it comes through, because it kind of feels more like a single player experience, or they're trying to bring these elements in, which I find really cool, because as I said, just playing on a field is cool and all, but being able to actually interact with sort of things like that makes the game a lot more interesting. Also, another improvement that they've added from Battlefield 3 was, instead of when you go to select to a squad member or something like that and you only get to see like a weird third-person background view of what they're seeing, you get to see a small little camera in the bottom left-hand corner of what they're actually seeing. And I find this really cool because it saves people. Like with Battlefield, there's a problem that when you spawn on someone, you can instantly die, which is sort of a problem. And in this case, you don't even have to ask people. If you see that they're under fire in their camera, you can spawn on them, but obviously you know there's a chance you will die here. There's stuff going on here. So I kind of like that you can see exactly what they're seeing, and that can inform your choice on where you want to spawn or who you want to select and stuff like that. Anyway, this brings me into my video on the Battlefield 4 beta. I've been having having a bit of fun with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments on the beta, whether you like it or whether you think it's too much like Battlefield 3, anything like that, put it down below. And if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.